let's go. I'm on a journey to discover the truth. Living life in recovery is lovely. You got the power in you. Surround yourself with positive energy. Judges hitting people with provocative penalties. Need to make a change. Advocate to change the laws. Prove to people that it's not insane. When you stand behind a cause, I'm here to speak about the pain. Recover loud to normalize the disease that's been killing all my friends and my family. The time is now to let it all go and recover loud. The benefit is healthy people, family and friends that never have to overdose ever again. Never have to plead out to a lesser offense. I'm proud to say that I recover loud. I never thought I could, but I'm so proud that I discovered how to live my life again, controlling my own destiny. I needed recovery, I still need it desperately. Addiction never defined my identity. I recover loud, here to tell my own story. I recover proud, save a life of like 40. I recover loud, yeah, I recover loud. I recover loud, yeah, I recover loud. I recover loud, here to tell my own story. I recover proud, save a life of like 40. I recover loud, yeah, I recover loud. I recover loud, yeah, I recover loud. I recover loud. I recover loud. I recover loud. I recover loud.
Hi, and welcome to this episode of Recover Loud. I'm your host, Mike Paddleford, and I recover loud. Many times, it takes us hitting our rock bottom before we can find a path to recovery. Sometimes it's a traumatic event that leads us to a better path. Tonight's guest is Paul Walker from Woodland, who has quite a story. Paul, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming here to share your story with us. Just from what I've heard so far of your story, it's pretty amazing that you're even alive today. So thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Paul, what was it you were telling me that brought you into recovery? I'd like to start there.
I got stabbed and almost died, so
Yeah.
stayed sober after that.
So what took place there? I mean, where'd you get stabbed? How did it happen? And tell us about that.
So I was my son's mother was my girlfriend at the time, and we was in a domestic violent type situation. We was always fighting, always arguing. We just had a newborn baby. She wanted to do all these drugs. I was mainly an alcoholic, but I smoked meth when I got drunk, but I was getting drunk all the time, so I was smoking meth all the time.
Yeah.
Kind of just went like that. And so we got in an argument because I drank all her liquor. Because I went hard. I would drink everything. Like, I'd clean out the cabinets. And so I drank her liquor. She got mad at me that kicked me out. So I went to the neighbors. So I called up a dude that I thought was my friend, and I asked him, I said, hey, can you come over, pick me up? I said, me and my girl are fighting again. I'd like to get out of here. He's like, no, I ain't got gas. And I was like, oh, okay. So then next thing I know, I hear his truck pull up. I see him come out with, because they didn't know I was right across the street. I see him come out with beer and pizza, and he goes up to my house. I'm like, what are you doing? And so I went over there. I was drunk, high, mad. Went over there. I was like, look, man. I said, you got gas quick, didn't you? I said, you showed up. Turned out him and her were having a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it. So I asked him to leave my house like 3 times. And he was ex-military, claimed PTSD or whatever. But I asked him to leave 3 times. He said nah. So I put my hand on his shoulder to show him to the door, and he just got me.
Yeah.
And so there was a 3-year-old, my ex's 3-year-old daughter was watching me when it had happened. And so I didn't fight back really. I just kind of shoved him out the door, locked the door, took my shirt off, covered up the wound so she didn't see it. And then I just like fell back. And
So what actually happened? Where did you get stabbed? What injury did you?
I got stabbed in my pancreas,
Okay.
and which caused me to go septic, and then so I had to have a wound vac on me, and it ate at my intestines. I ended up with ulcers. I had 40-something surgeries, and they literally, like, I can't tell you all of it because they literally gave me medicine to forget everything. So this stuff I don't even remember because, like, they said it would be too traumatic on your brain to remember that stuff.
Wow. And how long were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital for about 8 months, and then it was a good year of recovery on the outside. I had a ostomy on my side for a year. Luckily, that was able to be reversed. And then I had my stomach was open, like an open hernia, because they couldn't stretch the skin back to cover it. So they just took like skin off my leg and threw it there, and was like, that will hopefully hold you together. And then,
So you're pretty lucky to be alive.
I don't believe in luck. I'm blessed. That's what I tell everyone. Everyone's like, you're lucky. No, I'm blessed.
Yeah. So you said you were able to stay sober after that?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't even really, like, there's days that are hard, and I'm like, you know, it'd be easy to be an alcoholic again. It'd be easy to go do this. But, like, ultimately, I don't really ever think I want to. Like, it's never a want. Like, to go through something like that, I don't feel like that's the wake-up call. That's rock bottom. That's lower than rock bottom to me. Like,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, I mean, that's quite the story to get you to where you are today. What was it that brought you to that dark place? Why did you ever start using in the first place?
I mean, I think it came from, well, I have 5 older brothers and 4 older sisters, and we all were from a big city, and they were all tough and da-da. So I think it originated from trying to be tough with, like, them, like, oh, I drink, I smoke, I'm cool.
Right.
And then
What age was that you started drinking and smoking?
I started smoking when I was 10, but I started drinking when I was 14, so there's a little bit of gap. And it's funny because when I first started, I remember, like, I go hide after I got enough in me that I was feeling something, because I didn't like it. I didn't like feeling high. I didn't like feeling drunk. It was scary. I was like, oh, this is weird. I'm probably gonna die. And then after a while, like, my system just got used to it, and it was like, oh, it's another Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So drinking was a normal thing for you at that point?
Yeah, by the time I was 14, I was an alcoholic, for sure. And I became functioning throughout just the whole life. Like, I could drink all day, and my bosses wouldn't know, nobody. I'd still go to work, continue, get everything done.
So did you go on? Did you complete high school?
Nah, I got kicked out
Yeah.
for fighting.
Okay. And were you in school up here? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I went to
it was
school in
here.
Caribou. Yeah.
Okay. So how long did that run last? I mean, how old were you when you finally, or I don't even want to say how old were you finally when you got sober, but how long did that stretch last where you were drinking and drugging?
Yeah, well, I mean, I took days. Like, so I went from 14 to 19, and then when I turned 19, I tried to get sober because I found out I was gonna be a dad. So I was like, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I got sober, and my body like went in shock. It was like, what are you doing? And so I had a nervous breakdown.
Okay.
So I started smoking cigarettes, drinking, and didn't do anything hard until I was 21 when I split with my daughter's mother. And this guy come up to me and he's like, you want some false happiness? And I was like, absolutely, sign me up. And he handed me meth. And that's what it was false happiness. Like, the chemicals in that literally produce endorphins into your brain to make you think you're happy. And
Yeah.
so once I got hooked on that for a good, I'd say 2 years. And then I went 8 years just drinking with none of that again because I got sober off of that. Just by choice, just like, man,
Right.
seeing my kid while I was high, I was like, yo, that's not cool. Like,
Yeah.
the party's over, bro. Like, cut it out.
Yeah.
And so then I got sober off that, but I always maintained drinking. Drinking stayed right there. Like, that was always my thing. And then when I was 27, I got with my son's mother, and she was an addict as well. But she wanted me to go out and get her hard stuff, or else she was gonna go get it herself. Well, at least if I went out and got it, I knew where it was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew what she was getting. So I thought I was being admirable, but then
Right.
no, not really. I was pushing it. Like, it's like, oh,
And were you using with her?
not at first. I refused to. And then after a while, I was like, all right, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It was-
it's easy to get back into something when you know that it
I mean,
it does give you that happiness. That you
exactly.
mentioned.
Like, because your brain, when you use that stuff, your brain forgets how to produce that on its own. So you walk around masked all the time. Like, you put on a fake smile, you put on what you think people want to see you act like, but really, you don't know how to be. And then, so when it's that easily available and it's right there, you can just pick it right back up.
So, I mean, just in that little bit of your story, there were periods that you wanted to stay sober, and it just wasn't possible.
I always
to be 100%.
Right, yeah, no, I always knew I needed to, but I never hit that spot where it was like I had to. Like, I wanted to, but I never had to.
Right.
And so, after getting stabbed, I had to. Like, I have to now. Like, I have to. Because if I don't, I'm gonna die. Like, I should have died already, but I didn't, so.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. I don't believe in, like, just chance. I don't believe in luck. There's a design behind everything. So.
Right. And I believe, too, that we learn the lessons we need to as we go through life to make us who we are.
Absolutely.
Today and later. And somebody, some of these lessons that I've learned, they were hard, but, the benefit of learning that lesson, is priceless, and I don't have to do that again. And that's why we share our story.
Right.
Just like you were saying before, you've already gone through this. If you can share that,
yeah.
Somebody else doesn't have to find out on their own.
Well, that's my hope. That's my mission. That's what I've been trying to do. The way I figure it is, like I said, if I go through it, then I can explain it from. I feel like people will be more receptive to what I'm trying to tell them because I've been there. I've done that. I've been at the lowest. I've done despicable things that, like, is hard to live with. But I mean,
yeah.
I feel like we always get the information we need when we need it. Like,
yeah.
Because otherwise, it's falling on deaf ears. Like, there's probably many people telling me to get sober throughout my life and trying to explain it to me that I need to, but never did I get the message until it was like, hey, it's too late now. But
right, and it has to be our choice.
Exactly.
There's been plenty of times where other people have pointed out my issues, and I don't see it. So there's plenty of times where I needed these lessons, and unfortunately, it takes a big kick in the gut sometimes to learn these lessons.
People ask me all the time if I regret it and if I'm mad at the guy that did. Like, for a long time I held resentment towards the guy that did it and everything, but now I'm good. Like, I don't hang out with him or nothing. Like, he's not my friend anymore, obviously, but like, I feel I needed to go through what I went through. I had to. Like, I feel like that was what I had to go through to be where I'm at. Because I was not a good person, like, in any aspect of it. I was not a good person, and so today, like, I feel like I'm a much better person because of that. Yeah. And I feel like I'm able to understand things on a different level than other people.
Yeah. I mean, you went through hell. I mean, that's the relationship that brought you to that point. You learned a lot there, and luckily, hopefully today, you don't have to learn those lessons over again.
Never.
And if it wasn't for such a serious event that took you out of the game and put you there to let you think about it, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Would you have been able to do it today? So I understand being even grateful for what happened.
No, I thank God for it. I'm very grateful. I learned a lot from it. Like, I learned that a lot of my addiction came from a resentment towards my mother for dying that I didn't know I had. Like, I was angry my whole childhood, my whole life. I was angry about everything. I felt like everybody owed me everything. Like, I was supposed to just get it given to me because my mom died. And I was mad at her for dying. And, like, I didn't even realize that until I got old enough to really...
And you said you were 6 when she died?
Yeah, I was 6 when she died. She had a heart attack.
Was she older? Or?
She was 35. Wow. She, mental health issues run in my family a little bit, like depression and all that. And she had a lot of anxiety and depression. Mm-hmm. And she would just take to fainting. And then one day, like, she went to the hospital and they said it was gas and then sent her home, but it was a heart attack. And then she ended up dying from another heart attack later.
Wow.
That was brought on from that one. Yeah.
Was your dad around?
My dad was a truck driver, so he was on the road driving. And so there was 5 kids in the home at the time, and we all just woke up to it. Like,
were you the youngest?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of all of them.
Yeah. And how old would your oldest one have been?
He was 18 at the time. He was in Vermont with his dad, and he had to come back to Maine to get a grip on everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine. That she died at home with all of you kids there.
Right.
I couldn't imagine putting that on any child. So I bet that did affect you quite a bit. You mentioned mental health. Is that something that you do anything about today? Is it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I speak with a counselor weekly. I read a lot and try to learn, because knowledge is power, and I feel like the more that I know about myself and the more I know about my brain, then I'm able to keep a healthy mental upkeep. That don't mean I have great days every day. Like I still have days where I hate life, but I love living. So it's like I hate life, but I love living. But I'm curious. I think I keep that sense of wonder in the sense of trying to find the knowledge. So
yeah, and you're trying to make tomorrow better than yesterday.
Right. Yeah. That's what I tell people. I'm not as good as I'm gonna get, but I'm better than I was.
Exactly.
And tomorrow will be better, hopefully.
Yeah. And how long ago was it that you got stabbed?
I got stabbed December 9th of 2019.
Yeah, so it's been a few years now.
Yeah, and I'm just now on the up and up. I still can't work because of it or nothing.
Yeah.
Soon, hopefully.
Yeah. So what is it you do today?
A lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Sitting around I'm trying to get like groups and try to get like-minded individuals, trying to get people just involved with helping other people with not just addiction but other mental health issues too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the Facebook group you started. What's the name of that?
It was Life Has a Meaning. Unfortunately, somebody hacked my Facebook and deleted the whole group, so it's just gone. So I gotta start over, and I'm dealing with that because I don't know. I've already invited all them people to the group and had a pretty decent amount going, and so I don't know if it's gonna take off like it was starting to.
Well, as a member of that group, I liked the idea of it. And like you said, like-minded individuals coming together, sharing, whatever it is they're doing,
right.
Being creative.
And that's how I started. It didn't start as Life Has Meaning. It started with poetry with a meaning, because I was trying to use my poetry, artistic representation of oneself, like express myself through artistic means, and I wanted other people to try to do that. And then I was talking with my wife, and she was like, well, not everybody can do poetry, not everybody can do this. And I was like, well, you're right. So I tried to broaden it from just poetry with meaning, and I tried to do it Life Has Meaning. And that was just kind of like, I just want a lot of the people that go through substance abuse, like in my opinion, feel like they're alone. And even if someone's sitting right there telling them they're not, in their heart they feel alone. They feel like they can't count on nobody.
Right.
And so I just want to try to leave something out there that lets them type of people know, like, hey, look, come over here and learn a little. Like, there's a bunch of us.
Yeah, and like you said, I tell people all the time, they don't have to feel alone. I am here, and I encourage anyone, if they need help, to reach out to me. I answer every message. Even if it's, hey, I don't have time to talk right now.
Yeah, you're pretty quick on the response with me.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and it's important because people feel like they're alone.
And what's sad though is, like, if you're not quick on the response sometimes, that's why my wife gets upset because I'm on my phone a lot.
Yeah.
But it's because I am trying to reach people. Like, I only got like 6,000 people on my TikTok.
Yeah.
But I talk to them people too. I'm always trying to help people.
Yeah.
But like some people, if they message you and you don't message right back, they get pretty upset because they think you just ain't trying to talk to them.
Right.
And that could be that person's last straw that they needed for them to go do something ridiculous. And
yeah. Well, and I'm sure you've learned over the years, it's really hard to reach out and ask for help.
Oh yeah.
100%. When we're in that.
I think it's even more so as a man though, not to sound, but I feel like as a man, we're taught at a young age that we're supposed to suck it up for one, and we're supposed to handle everything. Like, I was taught to be the man, provide, don't ever cry in front of anyone, I was taught to be tough, So there's a stigma on being sad, there's a stigma on being depressed, there's a stigma on needing drugs to get by the day. And so, who am I supposed to ask? I'm supposed to ask my dad, then I'm gonna feel like I'm letting him down.
Right.
And then if I ask other people I don't know, like, then I'm gonna burden them. So it's kind of hard to get past that hump.
Yeah, and so by you answering messages, by me answering the messages, it shows people that they're not alone, that they do matter. that that there is somebody there that cares.
Another thing I like to try to get out there a lot too is that it's okay to not be okay. Like that's a big one, because as if we were just talking, like a lot of the stigmas and everything, people think that they have to hide this. That I have a friend that he killed himself in 2012, I think. His name was Kyle Gray, and he's my best friend in the whole world. And I got that phone call, and I couldn't understand it at the time because I didn't have that depression. But later, as my depression grew, like it became such an easy idea to do. And I feel like if the stigma hadn't been there, and he knew that it was okay to not be okay and to talk to somebody, because he was a tough guy and just had to always hold it down, he would probably still be here if he knew that he could talk to somebody and that they would listen.
And how old do you think you were when you had that instilled in you that you had to be tough?
Just a young age. Older brothers. One of my brothers is an MMA fighter. We're all from a big city, and we're just one of the only white families like on that street at all. So we got beat up by the neighborhood kids a lot, and so being tough was like just how it was. Like that's how we had to be. And I was the youngest, so I got it the worst. So I felt like I had to outdo everyone. I felt like I had to just be tougher than every one of my brothers. And
And you're a tough guy today?
Nah, I'm too old to be tough.
Yeah. So what does life look like for you today?
Well, better than it's ever been. I'm married. I got 2 stepchildren, 2 biological. They're all my children. I claim them all, but I'm sober. I'm trying to help other people get sober. I am trying to push my own agenda sometimes. I'm trying to get that music thing going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's what we got to do. We gain the tools to get ourselves healthier so that we can chase those dreams.
I try not to be selfish though, because I feel like I live not for me. I'm not here to just benefit me.
Yeah.
So that's another.
Well, but it's okay for us to get through our life, and to chase those dreams that we have, because when we were sick and suffering, I know I didn't dream. I gave up all my dreams for 20 years. At 42 years old, when I went to rehab, the biggest benefit for me has been the opportunities that I'm able to dream. I'm able to reach for goals. You know what I mean? So, and I think in our recovery, we have to be selfish to keep ourselves going and to keep ourselves, doing the right thing, because we are the most important person in our story. Our family is there, and we can support them, but we have to do the best we can for ourselves.
Well, I feel I definitely, since becoming sober and after all that, the last few years after that I've accomplished more in that time sober than I've probably accomplished my whole life. Like I've made goals, I've become a different person, and I've gotten into friendships and stuff with people that I never thought that like I looked up to and stuff. So it's kinda...
and connection is the opposite of addiction. I do want to thank you for coming today. I am 100% sure that your story is not over yet. Your drive, your ambition to do better is there. I know you talked about wanting to become a substance use counselor later on. And I bet if you keep working, you'll benefit quite a few people.
Absolutely, thank you.
So thanks for coming. Is there anything you'd like to tell anyone out there that may be struggling or maybe in a position that you've been in before?
I would just tell them that it's never too late and that you're not alone and it's okay to not be okay, and that if you ever need someone to talk to, reach out. Like even me, like you can find me on my TikTok, reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you later on. All right. Recover loud, everyone.
Welcome to Rick's Redemption, where we are family owned and operated. We strive in cleanliness, honesty, and customer appreciation. Rick's Redemption is a recovery-ready employer who believes wholeheartedly in redemption. Here at Rick's, we support Recovery Rustic and definitely are proud to recover loud. God bless.
Anderson's Auto Repair, locally owned and operated in Sweden, Maine, specializes in all make, all model vehicle diagnosis and repair. Each individual service is backed by our nationwide TechNet 2-year 24,000-mile warranty. Call or stop in to schedule an appointment today. Anderson's Auto, for wherever the road takes you.
Hi, I'm Mike Paddleford, and I recover loud. On August 8th, Maine's expanded version of the Good Samaritan Law goes into effect. This law is intended to make it more likely for someone to dial 911 in the case of a drug-related overdose. This law removes the penalties and the threat of prosecution for all drug-related offenses and most non-violent crimes, as well as probation violation and parole revocation. It is now safe for us to dial 911 in the case of an overdose. We don't have to take care of our friends alone. Please help save a life by dialing 911. If you or someone you know would like to carry naloxone, you can reach out to me at recoveryotr18@gmail.com. Recover loud, everybody.
I recover loud. 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 Let's go. I'm on a journey to discover the truth. Living life in recovery is lovely. You got the power in you. Surround yourself with positive energy. Judges hitting people with provocative penalties. Need to make a change. Advocate to change the laws. Prove to people that it's not insane. When you stand behind a cause, I'm here to speak about the pain. Recover loud to normalize the disease that's been killing all my friends and my family. The time is now to let it all go and recover loud. The benefit is healthy people, family and friends that never have to overdose ever again, never have to plead out to a lesser offense. I'm proud to say that I recover loud. I never thought I could, but I'm so proud that I discovered how to live my life again, controlling my own destiny. I needed recovery, I still need it desperately. Addiction never defined my identity. I recover loud, here to tell my own story. I recover proud, save a life of like 40. I recover loud, yeah, I recover loud. I recover loud, yeah, I recover loud. I recover loud, here to tell my own story. I recover proud, save a life of like 40. I recover loud, yeah, I recover loud. I recover loud, yeah, I recover loud. I recover loud. I recover loud. I recover loud. I recover loud.